Hey, it's Shane Chapman, and you're listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast 10s, where we hand the mic to industry leaders on a topic they choose to share, teach, or entertain. This week, we give the mic to Levi Tippetts of TC Decks out of Salt Lake area in Utah to talk about the pros and cons of brand loyalty and product exclusivity in building materials. Take it away, Levi.
My name is Levi Tippetts. I'm with TC Decks. We're out of Utah, the Utah Valley area, just south of Salt Lake. I've been in the deck building industry, the exclusive deck building industry, for about 3 to 4 years. I was in the framing industry before that for over 20 years. About 3 or 4 years ago, I decided I hated framing. Wasn't very good with having employees, so I ended up firing all of my employees. Now I just build decks by myself, and I've never been happier. I do higher-end custom decks, targeted to the homeowners and some custom builders. Love doing it. Love this industry. I've gotten most of my influence from the Ultimate Deck guys, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate the opportunity to kind of give my input into what I've learned. Something I kind of wanted to touch on was kind of the weirdness of product exclusivity. Getting into the game, I have to give credit to a rep that we have out here. It's for one of the major brands, but he's kind of the one that pushed me into it. And of course, with that, I used kind of exclusively that brand for a while. But it was more ignorance. I didn't realize, I knew there were other brands of composite material out there. I just thought that this was the one that you used, which it is a great product. I think we all know who I'm talking about, but it's a great product. Kind of the giants in the game. They've been around the block, know exactly what they're doing. Beautiful colors, and it is a popular brand. But getting into it, it mainly started during the pandemic, of course. We were starting to have supply issues. My lumber salesman, my supply salesman, ended up pointing me towards a few different other brands. So I started to kind of look into those, and with that started to learn about this whole new world of different products out there. Great products, right? Equally good in looks, durability, longevity, that type of thing. But with that also is the reps that you're working with. That's been a big thing for me. I've been fortunate to work with just some great guys. I hear horror stories of just people working with reps that have been difficult, but it's the reps that I've worked with that have just been awesome. I mean, they want to see me succeed. They'll do anything they can to help me succeed, and just very supportive. Even with this kind of debate that I've had with myself over the past 3 or 4 years, I've learned that there's, in all facets of life, not just deck building, not just composite material, but I mean, you've got your Android guys versus your Apple people, your diehard Chevy, Ford, Dodge guys, even your Coke and Pepsi people out there, right? It's like, you have one product and you stick with it and everything else sucks. And there's people like that in this industry, and I get it. I understand the benefits of being loyal to a brand. I've learned that with this loyalty comes, of course, your loyalty points. I think that's a big thing. They help you with your branding. They help you with advertising. It can go towards, different swag things like that. And that's a great advantage, I think. Not to mention the discount that you get on the material. You get to know the product better, the ins and outs of it, the colors, the warranties, that type of thing. But then also the relationship with the reps or with the company themselves. A lot of them, once you build up to a certain point, they get to where they'll, offer you these kind of extravagant vacations or, retreats and that type of thing. And it's an awesome thing. I mean, it's great to be wanted, right? We all like to be loved. We all want the pat on the back, and they're happy to do that for you, right? You're the one that's out selling their product. And so they'll do what they can to keep you happy, but with that also comes the cons, right? My big one was, during the pandemic, we were having those supply issues, and I got to the point where I'd ordered some fascia for a deck that was put on back order for, I think it was 3 or 4 months. And meanwhile, I couldn't finish the deck, and the clients were holding a retainer, as well they should, right? They want me to come back and finish, and so they're going to do what they can to make sure I get back there. Well, meanwhile, they're holding, $10,000-$15,000, and I can't finish this deck because of these supply issues. So when you spread your wings and know that there's other, products out there that aren't having those supply issues, it's like, you've got this color in this brand that's very similar in price and color to this brand. Why not use brand B, instead of brand A? The other thing too is my lumber supplier that I use only carries, they'll stock certain brands and certain colors, but they'll only, they don't work with the distributors of these other brands. So I kind of have to work around them as well. The other disadvantage, I think, is you're missing out on different great products, great materials, the patterns. You've got wood fiber composites out there, and it's a great product, but, don't look past the PVC products. It's an awesome product, very durable, lightweight, has a lot of disadvantages, or advantages, and disadvantages, I guess. Your what is it called? Mineral-based composite, right? Kind of a popular thing amongst a certain brand that is a great product and just very durable, great around higher water areas, that type of thing. So there's other brands out there that come out with these different products. And I think that's a great part of our industry, is it's like, with this competition, it helps you to grow. It helps you to become better, and that's what it's doing for our composite products. It's like if brand X comes out with, this new cool thing, it's like brand Y is going to do what they can to come out with something bigger and better and more durable, and they're always looking for new ways to be greener or, be cheaper, to sell it to us cheaper. They'll come out with scallop boards to help save money, or, there had to be someone that came out with the grooved board first before anybody else, where it's like, we can do this hidden fastening system, right? They're always just learning off of each other and bettering off of each other. And I think that's a great thing about our society is this competition does help us get better. But I didn't realize that it would be, I guess, basically this cutthroat. And so it was kind of hard for me to come to pick one of these brands and say, okay, I'm just going to stick with this brand. And I consulted a lot of, I talked to a lot of just really good builders that have been around the block and kind of got their input onto it. And there was some great input, but ultimately it's up to me to decide what I'm going to do. And for me, ultimately what it comes down to is it's what's best for my client, right? So, I kind of approach the client and ask if they have a preference. And we all know, Trex is kind of the name brand that comes to mind when you want a composite deck. You say, I want a Trex deck. Well, most people don't know that there's other brands out there, right? And so I'll kind of, explain that there's different brands. These ones I recommend, and then I'll talk about, other brands that I don't recommend. I won't discourage somebody from installing something unless I know that it's a real crap brand. But I'll kind of get a feel for their price range, their longevity, and especially warranty, and then present them with the top, 5, 10 most popular products in that category and let them decide, right? Let them decide what's your favorite color, what's your favorite pattern, do you like the browns, do you like the grays, and let them decide what's best for them. But in the long run, you got to do what's best for yourself as well. So for me, I think as of right now, I'm not an exclusive person. I love all brands. I'll be loyal to those good brands as long as they're good to me. So, but that's just my input. That's quick. So thank you.
If you've got something to share and would like to record your very own episode of the Ultimate Deck Podcast 10s, visit www.tuds.ca/10s for details. For sponsored opportunities, email podcast@tuds.ca.